feel so sorry for Case Keenum in Houston and the backup quarterback, Cotton Turner. Both of them are out for the year, but Case losing his knee, and he's a Heisman Trophy candidate, and he's done a tremendous job out there. So our thoughts and prayers go out with both those young men. But what a tough thing for a young man that's handled everything right. He's been a great example and role model for the state, and he's a tremendous player. Also, the tragedy at West Orange Stark this weekend with Reggie Garrett. He and his family are close friends with Earl Thomas and his family. It's a tragedy to lose anyone, especially of that age, but this was a very unique and special young man that was leading their team, and they lost him during a ball game. So our thoughts and prayers once again go out to that family and that team and Coach Hooks, and that's a very, very tragic thing for young people to have to go through, friends being on the sideline with him and such. So it's a tough thing for all those young families, and we have our thoughts and prayers with Reggie's family, and again, want to wish the best for Case Keenum. Questions?
Coach, after looking at the film.
Go first, Ed.
Thank you, Coach. After looking at the film, what was Tech doing? I know they're very good athletes up front. What were they doing specifically to frustrate the running game so much?
I think you'll hear Greg Davis in a minute. It's so frustrating for us. Usually there's 4 guys that are doing what they're supposed to and one that's messing up. So we're so close, just like the screen. If the ball's not tipped, we probably score. We go up 21-0. We're not having any of these discussions. So we just got to keep getting better.
Are the running backs healthy? I know you can't talk about.
No, they're all banged up. The one play that Trey Newton played hit on the same hip pointer that he got last week against Wyoming, so he had to come back and didn't go back in. Fozzie got his shoulder hurt a little bit. I think they'll all be okay to play. And then Cody still doesn't look quite as fast since he's had his ankle sprain. So we're banged up at that position.
Coach, you mentioned maybe one thing going wrong on a play here or there. When you analyze the offensive line as a whole, is that kind of what the coaches are seeing as far as why they're not playing as good as you want them to right now?
Well, I think it's wrong to say they're not playing as good as they want to. Usually somebody is, and it's usually one guy. And the problem we're having is that it's a different guy all the time. So it's really frustrating for us. And I do think that we should have run the ball better at the end of the game. But at the same time, the game was over. We were more conservative. We didn't want to have counters. We didn't want to have reverses. They weren't going to win if we didn't turn it over. So I do think we put more pressure on Cody when he was in, and we put more pressure on the offensive linemen when they were in. The sacks, one of them we should have thrown away. James Kirkendall should have thrown his ball away on the reverse pass. I mean, there's some things that we can do offensively that are just basic coaching things that we've got to do a better job as an offensive staff doing that will help this team a lot, because it's an inexperienced offense. It's going through some changes, and everybody's on them. So, my Lord, they don't have a chance to even breathe. We scored 34 points for 2 weeks in a row. Everybody's mad. And we scored 24 at Lubbock, which is hard, and everybody's mad. So, I mean, it's not fair for these kids right now. We've all got to keep being positive. We've all got to keep coaching. We've all got to do a better job coaching than we're doing now. But I think our fans need to really pull for our offense. We've been a great offense around here, and we've spoiled everybody pretty much. And this one so far hadn't scored as easily. So we all need to get behind this offense and move. Now, the difference is this weekend, our defense has not played a running team. So UCLA is averaging over 203 yards a game. So everybody's going to brag on the defense more than they deserve this week. And they did a great job. Everybody's going to cuss the offense. And then if we're not careful, the old defense is going to go out there and stand around. So our job will be to keep the defense grounded, because we'll see if they can stop the run this week, because they got runs for the next 3 weeks for sure. And then we'll see if the offense can continue to get better.
How important is it for the receivers to become more consistent when you have such a young quarterback like Garrett?
I think it's really important. Everybody needs to help him. You know, we dropped 6 passes. We have 3 sacks. We have 3 holding penalties. It's just inconsistent. It's amazing. If you take a highlight film out, you think we're just running up and down the field and doing great. But we're making too many mistakes, and that's what we've got to quit. We all need to help Garrett more.
Did you see anything maybe in the preseason or last spring that you saw maybe this would be inconsistent, that the offense would be this inconsistent at this point? Or are you kind of surprised by it?
I don't ever know. You try to do the best job you can do coaching, but I'm not one that looks back, and I'm not one that anticipates. I think what you do is you coach every day, and our defense was more consistent than our offense in preseason. That's usually the way it is. And our offense last year this time was very inconsistent. We had trouble at Wyoming. We had a whole lot of trouble against Colorado. Couldn't run it a lick. Still played for the national championship. So we're not ready to push the panic button yet. We just need to get better. And to do that, the kids are trying. That's the thing I liked. If the kids weren't trying Saturday night, weren't ready to play, we'd have probably gotten beat. But I'm proud of the kids. Our coaches need to do a better job.
Coach, the pieces are in place, so is there some comfort that all of these mistakes that are going on are correctable? And
Yes,
get better every week?
there is absolutely no doubt. We're mad at scoring 30 points a game, and we can fix it. There's a lot of people who like to switch with us and get those 30, but we can fix it.
You said after Rice, Mack, you said you got to remind the kids that, the win is the most important thing and everything else. Is that kind of where you are again when you have to balance winning in a tough place but having things to correct?
Yes, college football and high school football and pro football, they're imperfect sports. And that's why we love to coach them. We love to critique them. We love to go see what's going to happen, anticipate, and we all have our opinions, and that's what's fun about the game. So, but they're all ugly in most ways. If you beat somebody to death, it's usually because they were awful and they dropped it and gave you some easy scores. But if you have to earn them all, nobody turns it over, and they take care of the ball and do the things they're supposed to do and play hard, everybody's got scholarship players. So it's hard to just blow people out all the time. And I think that's what our team has gotten used to, and that's why they are going through some changes right now. Our fan base is doing some of the same. But any win in Lubbock that anybody would question hasn't watched Texas football for a long time. I mean, that is really stupid to question a win in Lubbock. Now, I'm telling you, we've had great teams go out there and get beat. So if we can win, we can fix stuff after a win. What I said in the dressing room to the kids after the game, what I said to the media is exactly how I feel. I want you to enjoy every bit of this win. If only 3 teams in the Big 12 South since 1998 have left there with a win, we need to be happy when we win. Come back on Monday, come back on Sunday, and start fixing your problems. But if you're not happy beating Texas Tech in Lubbock, we've lost who we are, and we don't get it anymore. We better be happy with wins. Hard to get.
Coach, isn't that part of just progressing throughout the season, though? Is you guys are going to work on a play. It's not going to be as good in Game 3 as it is in Game 10.
If you're as good in Game 3, if you're better in Game 3 than you are Game 10, you've had a bad year. So you need to get better as a team, and usually we've done that. We've won games early, but we've gotten slow starts. And especially offensively. And I think this one, you've got more young guys participating, so there's more mistakes. You've got some new things you're trying that we haven't done in 2 or 3 years, so that takes a little bit longer. I'm a little shocked that anybody's shocked that we're struggling some, because it had it written all over it coming in that we weren't going to be as consistent. We've just lost Vince Young and Colt McCoy, so Garrett's brand new. So there's a whole lot of new stuff going on. I'm excited about fixing it. I think that's I don't get mad and down about fixing it. I get excited about the challenge of fixing it, and that's what we got to do. Got to play better this week on an offense to win, but we understand that.
You talk about what the coaches have to do, the players realize that they have to step up and do some things.
They do. As long as they play as hard as they did Saturday night, we'll be okay. Now, we are not good enough to go out and stand around, and I said that at Rice. But if they'll play as hard as they did, you can fix mistakes. If they go out there halfway one game, we're not good enough to win. We have to have all-out effort from our entire football team this year, because there's been some teams around here we've had that were good enough to go out and stand around a little bit and still win. We got to do a better job coaching this offense than we've done, and we've got to do a great job of continuing to keep the passion and the energy up with this team, and that comes from our fans. We need our fans more than ever before. This team's got a hard stretch coming up, and we're going to need positive people stand up to help us. James is very nice. He's very smart. He's done a tremendous job for us. He's been a team guy. There's games that you don't notice him much, and then Saturday night he steps up and becomes the player of the game. And he had a tough drop early in the game, and I really got on him, and I really liked the fact that he got his composure back and came back and was the player of the game.